Hello, and welcome to Listen to English. This video is perfect for B1 level English learners. If you want to practice listening at a different level from a 1 to C2, please check out our other videos on the channel. Today's story is about Ethan, who has just moved into his new apartment and decided it's time to cook a proper dinner for himself. It sounds simple, right? Well, not for Ethan. Get ready for a mix of confidence, chaos, and comedy all in one kitchen. Now, let's join Ethan and hear how his first dinner attempt turns out.
Hi, my name is Ethan, and today I decided to do something truly brave or truly stupid depending on how you see it. I'm going to cook dinner. A real dinner. Not toast, not instant noodles, not cereal at 10 p.m. An actual, homemade, delicious dinner, or at least that's the plan. Ever since I moved into my new apartment, I've been telling myself, Ethan, you're an adult now. Adults cook their own food. But every time I tried, something went wrong. Last week I burned water. Yes, water. Don't ask how, even I don't know. Anyway, this morning, while eating my usual sad bowl of cereal, I decided that tonight is the night. I'm going to make spaghetti bolognese, because how hard can it be? I've seen people make it on YouTube. It's just pasta, sauce, and meat, right? I can totally handle that. Spoiler, I couldn't. So, after work, I grabbed my reusable bag, which still had old receipts and maybe a banana peel in it, and went to the supermarket. I had my shopping list on my phone. Pasta, tomato sauce, ground beef, onion, garlic, olive oil, salt, pepper, and some Italian herbs. Simple. But when I got to the sauce aisle, everything suddenly became complicated. There were like 50 different kinds of tomato sauce. Chunky, smooth, spicy, with basil, without basil, organic, non-organic, gluten-free, sugar-free, grandma's recipe. Why does Grandma need her own sauce brand? After 10 minutes of deep confusion, I picked one that said authentic Italian flavor. It looked fancy. I felt confident. Then came the herbs. The recipe said oregano, but I didn't really know what that was. So I grabbed something green called cilantro. Green is green, right? Big mistake. When I got to the meat section, things got even worse. I didn't know how much ground beef to buy. Half a kilo? 1 kilo? 10 cows? I panicked and grabbed the biggest pack I could find. Better too much than too little. I told myself a sentence that would soon lead to disaster. At the checkout, I proudly placed everything on the belt like a professional chef. The cashier looked at me, smiled, and said, "Big dinner tonight?" "Yes," I replied with fake confidence. "I'm making spaghetti." She raised an eyebrow and said, "Good luck." That should have been my warning. Back home, I unpacked my groceries and turned on some music. I wanted to create a chef atmosphere. You know, background jazz, a little wine, maybe a dance or two. I felt like a cooking show host. Step 1. Boil water for pasta. Easy. Except I forgot to add salt, and apparently, salt matters. The pasta turned out, how do I say it politely? Like soft rubber bands. While the pasta was cooking, I started the sauce. I put olive oil in the pan, chopped some onion and garlic, and immediately burned both. The smell was so bad, my neighbor knocked on the wall. I opened all the windows and told myself, okay, new plan, low heat. Then I added the ground beef. But I didn't know I was supposed to drain the fat. Soon, the pan looked like an oil spill in the ocean. Still, I continued bravely. I poured in the tomato sauce, sprinkled my Italian herbs, and stirred proudly. Then I tasted it. It was awful. It tasted like soap and sadness. I checked the sauce jar again and realized it wasn't tomato sauce. It was tomato ketchup with basil and sugar. And those herbs I used? Not oregano, cilantro, which tastes nothing like oregano. In fact, it made everything taste like lemon-scented cleaning spray. At this point, my kitchen looked like a crime scene. Pasta stuck to the pot, sauce splashed everywhere, a spoon somehow on the ceiling. Even my cat, who isn't actually my cat, just a neighbor's cat that visits, looked disappointed. Still, I refused to give up. I thought maybe I could fix it with cheese. So, I added half a bag of grated cheese. The result? A cheesy, oily, sweet mess that looked like lava. Finally, after 1 hour of pure chaos, I sat down at my table, looked at my masterpiece, and took a bite. It was unique. A mix of ketchup, cilantro, and regret. I chewed bravely, smiled, and said out loud, delicious, even though my stomach said otherwise. After 3 bites, I gave up. I opened my food delivery app, scrolled for 2 seconds, and ordered pizza. While waiting, I cleaned the kitchen, or at least tried. The pan will probably need a priest, not a sponge. When the pizza arrived, I felt at peace. Warm, crispy, simple, delicious, exactly what I needed. I took a slice, sat by the window, and thought, maybe I'm not a chef. Maybe I'm just really good at ordering food. You know, I realized something that night. Cooking isn't just about following recipes. It's about patience, timing, and not mistaking cilantro for oregano. And even though my dinner failed, I kind of enjoyed the process. It was messy, loud, chaotic, but it was mine. Maybe next week I'll try something simpler, like boiling an egg. What could go wrong, right?
Great job, you made it to the end. You've just completed another B1 level English listening practice video. In this story, you learned vocabulary about cooking, shopping, and daily life. And you heard how even simple things can turn into funny adventures. Our channel, Listen to English, grows and improves with your support. Please share your opinions and suggestions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. See you in the next video, and remember, every mistake is just another step in learning.